Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and we're also so we're a local chapter of the Association Women Surgeons, which is a national organization that basically brings together all this women surgeons from all around the country. And so right now we have a mentor-mentee program going on. So us medical students, we get matched up with surgeons in the country, throughout the country, and basically they're gonna teach us about I think research experiences, work-life balance, just basically as a mentor to guide us throughout our process and journey. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else wants to add to anything.
Just wanted to add that we're all second year medical students. So can answer questions about that too, if anyone has questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you all kind of want to introduce yourselves as well and tell a little bit about your story, that would be helpful too, I think, to kind of how you got here, how you found out about the group and got into the group and all of that. But Valerie, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well, I guess I could start with my intro. My name is Valerie. I'm the secretary of CHSU AWS, and how I found this chapter, this club, is actually through a suture event that we hold. We try to hold it a couple times a year, but I remember last semester I did the suture club where we had a local surgeon in our local community center who came and taught us different sutures. So it was really cool. I was always interested in surgery, or it's definitely in one of my options that I'm like looking into, because I used to work in plastic surgery as well as shadowed a neurosurgeon as well. So it definitely, this club is helping me grow my appreciation for surgery.
And I can bounce off of Valerie. My name is Negin. I'm the club vice president. So in my gap years, because I was like very non-traditional. I did undergrad. No, I did high school. Then I went to community college. Then I did undergrad. Then I did some gap years. Then I got my master's. And then I came to medical school. So kind of took a long route to get here. But in my gap years, I did a lot of clinical surgical research. And my preceptor was involved in AWS. And like ACS, so the American College of Surgeons. So through that, I already had some exposure to AWS. So coming into medical school, I was like, oh, like that's something I think I kind of want to be involved in. And so when the opportunity came about towards the end of first year to be a part of our chapter's leadership team, I was like, okay, why not? So here I am.
Okay, and then bouncing off Nagin, my name is Annie. I'm a second year medical student. I am the treasurer for AWS here at CHSU. Similar to Valerie, I also found out of AWS through suturing workshops, and I thought it was a really good opportunity. I am interested in surgery. It's definitely an option for me up there, so I thought I might as well take on this leadership position just to maybe discover some more about surgery, other reasons why I think I'm interested. That's it.
Hi guys, I'm Emily. I'm the president of our AWS chapter. Surgery is definitely one of the options I'm considering. Just really quick question, are any of you guys interested in surgery, or no, you might be interested? You are? Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is a really good organization we have on campus to just put yourself out there, because being a part of the club as well as on the board provides you with a lot of opportunities, especially for networking. I think our entire board, we are going to go to a conference in October, and it's like I think it's a women surgeons conference, yeah, in San Francisco. So I think it's a really good opportunity for you guys who are interested in surgery to come to these conferences whenever you get the chance to network, learn about different fields in surgeries, meet physicians, and basically learn more skills. Yeah. We do have a suturing workshop this week for our current first years. So yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything you'd like to know about in general or specific? Sahar? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello.
We can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, kind of.
Barely.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my computer. It's not better now?
Yeah, a
You can
little.
try
I
to
can
hear
hear
your
you.
question.
Okay. I just wondering, I'm not a student yet. I actually have my interview with CHSU next week. Hopefully become a student there. And I was wondering if I become a first year, how I can get into the like the club or the organization, and like is there a way to like I have to apply, or do I just join on the first day? Like how's the process?
Okay, so sorry if I'm hearing this correctly or not. You want to know if how you can join as a first year?
Yes.
Okay. So basically if you're a first year, the events are open to you. Yeah, you're just not allowed to. I don't think they allow you to take part in planning the event until your second semester of first year, but you're still able to attend the speaker events, the suturing workshops, and all of that. Yeah.
And just to add to that, here at CHSU, we do have a club fair in the beginning of like fall semester for the new like OMS ones, really to kind of get to know what clubs are available on campus, what organizations there are, how they can join. And then at the club fair is also when a lot of the clubs start to really advertise some of their events that are coming up. And then at our school, we use GroupMe. So every club, every organization has a GroupMe, and they'll post their events, and whether that be like a panel event or a suturing event or a community service event, the event will usually get posted in the GroupMes, and then you can sign up and attend and be involved in the club. And then once you're in your second semester of first year, you can apply to be on the board for whatever clubs that interest you in your second year. So you apply at the end of your first year for second. And then there was a question in the chat, what do the suturing workshops entail? So as we kind of mentioned earlier, we have a local surgeon here come in during lunch to teach us how to suture, supplemental to what we're already learning in our clinical skills class. So she'll go through some like frequent knots that we should know as medical students, kind of going into rotations eventually. And then like some tips and tricks, and it's just a good way to get some practice with someone who, you know, does this in their daily career at work, and they see residents, they see medical students, so they're able to kind of guide us on how we can improve as a student, especially on these rotations.
And usually, suture kits are provided.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing is to take advantage of the suturing workshops that clubs on campus hold. It's because as a first year, we only had one suture workshop in our clinical skills class, and we always think those labs are the most fun. So just taking advantage of having a suture kit provided for you and given that time to practice is just something that's really good to have.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then there was another question in the chat. What is the mentor-mentee process match like? So the mentor-mentee process match that Emily mentioned is the national one that AWS as a national organization put together. So there was an application process for that. You answered some questions and sent in some paragraphs, and then they matched you with like a surgeon mentee
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. So that's not something that happens like at our school with like a second year or third year or fourth year. But at CHSU, we do have mentor mentees. You can opt to be matched with a first year. As a second year, you can be matched with the first year. And as a first year, you can be matched with the second year, to kind of, as you're transitioning, to get some like insights, to have someone to ask for help. And then once you're a second year, you can transfer that knowledge to the incoming class as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also want to add for the mentor-mentee program that's part of national, it releases application every year. So most likely during your year at CHSU, you can apply for it. And then I think the next question is there a fee to join? I think there's a $25 fee to be a part of the Association Women Surgeons National. I think it's really worth it. I think it's 25 a year, right, Nagin?
I think it is 25.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but there's
also,
no
thank you.
fee to, oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was just
sorry.
gonna say there's no fee to join the CHSU chapter. So the local
Yeah.
chapter at the school does not have a fee. So any student is eligible to join
Mm-hmm.
if they're
And
interested.
yes. I think there's another question. Shivani asked, when do clinicals start at CHSU and how are they typically organized? So we have our clinical class like right beginning of the year. We have lab once a week. And yeah, I think it pretty it prepares us pretty well for rotations so far.
They're
And then
typically
clinical rotations.
organized by systems. So
Oh
whatever
yeah.
system we're learning, it's usually organized by that.
Yeah, and then clinical rotations start in the third year after you take your boards. And then there was another question in the chat. What have you guys done so far in the chapter? Do you have surgeon mentors or other students, and is there fee to join? So no fee to join. What have we done so far? So our school year just started, so we're still kind of getting into planning our events. But so far we have had a speaker event with a endocrine surgeon. We also have our suture workshop this week. And then we have a fundraiser tonight at Blaze Pizza to just raise some more funds for the club. And then in the like next semester, there will be a like mixer networking panel event that's still being planned. And that's going to be with the Fresno Madera Medical Society. So that's to come. We have some good events lined up so far. And then do we have surgeon mentors or other students? I think like I touched on this a little bit. So there's a lot of opportunities here to find somebody to be a mentor, whether that be a faculty or another student, whether that's upperclassman or a lowerclassman. There's a lot of opportunities like that. They don't always necessarily have to be a surgeon. Any mentor is a good mentor and they all have connections. So, you know, if your mentor is an internal medicine physician, does not mean that they don't know any surgeon. And if they know that that's something you're passionate about and that's something you want to pursue, then they can always connect you to their colleagues and their coworkers.
I think someone raised their hand. I think it's Noor.
Yes, that's me. Hello, everyone. I'm an applicant, and I got a text to join this meeting, and I'm really excited that I did because I am interested in surgery, but I'm scared because one of the biggest troubles that I had undergrad and during graduate school is resources and finding like I'm not a traditional American student. I've been here only couple of years, so I'm not very familiar with the resources that usually school provides or chapters do provide. Besides setting up, my question is, besides setting up students with mentors and doing workshops, what are some other resources that you provide to students and specifically who are interested in surgery? Hopefully, if I get in, of course, California college.
I would say from the organization itself, um, there's more clinical skills. It's more how much you are willing to put the effort in to expand your resources. The national organization that we're with, the Association of Women Surgeons National Organization, they have a lot of resources as well as a lot of physicians they're connected to. And I think personally for me, um, the best resource I'm getting out of this club is going to the conferences and meeting physicians. I think that's one of the best things that the club can provide. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, thank you.
Mhm.
And then there was another question in the chat. Did this org help you find your people at CHSU? Is there a close vibe in the chapter? So kind of the way clubs and just other student orgs work on campus, you're not really like meeting as a group often. Like there's no like general body meeting and like everyone's hanging out. The clubs put on events and then you attend the ones that are interesting to you. But when you do go on these boards and you're part of the board position, you kind of become close to the people you're on a board with. And before that even happens, there's a lot of opportunities to meet people and to make friends and to kind of find your people at CHSU, whether that be like the people in your TBL, your classmates, the people in your section. You find where you fit. I know a lot of people found their friends through sports because there's like the basketball group me and the soccer group me. So that's how they found their people. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but hopefully it does. And then, do most students do research at CHSU? A lot of students are involved in research. A lot of the faculty also have research opportunities available. At the end of your first year, like before the summer begins, there is an opportunity to apply to do a summer research project with a faculty member. So that's one way that a lot of students find their research opportunities. If there's a faculty or a professor that you do become close with or you're interested in their field, you can always go talk to them and see if they have an idea or if they have a project, or if you have an idea for them, that's even better. You can present it to them and be like, how can we make this a research project? And that's just a couple ways that you can find your research opportunities. So they're definitely there. You just have to go after them. What do we like most about CHSU-COM? Does anybody else want to answer first? I feel like I've talked a lot.
Right. Yeah. I'll answer it really quick. I like our clubs. I feel like that's the most fun thing you can do in school right now. The organizations, especially the collaboration, because we're basically, I feel like the class it's big, but we all kind of know a wider range of people. I like the fact that we collaborate with different clubs to bring about an event and make an event more special and bigger than if it were to be from one club hosting it. So yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, I would also piggyback on that being my favorite thing. I remember being a first year, and especially with a long day, like an 8 to 5, when there's an event right in between during lunch, it was just very fun to attend, like any event that any club would hold. Yeah, like suturing, event speaking as well. And I also like how each club does offer volunteer opportunities, whether that's just helping Fresno. There's something called Beautify Fresno where you clean up the town. There's also like packing events. We have airway packing events with the anesthesia club where they also they send medical equipment across overseas. And just, yeah, a bunch of different volunteer events is fun to do with your friends.
I also have to agree with the volunteer events. They are very fun, and there's honestly a lot of opportunities available. Each club hosts their own sort of thing um, that they need volunteers for, so you can always offer to help. I also just really like I like being able to, I guess I just like the people, I guess in general. Like my class. And just being able, it's easy to kind of talk to others outside of my class as well. So I guess just the people.
I'll take this in a different direction. I ask a lot of questions. Like I'm a very curious person. So I really appreciate that almost every faculty and professor has an open door policy. So I can just like peek my head into their like office and be like, hey, can I ask you like 10 questions really quickly? And they've never said no. And they've always been more than happy to answer my questions and like sit with me for 2 hours sometimes to like go through the entire lecture so I can understand it and like really understand how they are understanding it to then be able to answer their exam questions. And so I think that's my favorite part because it helps my learning. And then I also like that we have so many events on campus all the time, but there's always free food. Like you can always find a lunchtime event or like some event that happened and there's leftover food in the kitchen. So it's like fun to just go and like get a little snack. And then there's a question in the chat. Do you all plan to still do a variety of different specialties for your clinical rotations, or are there any specific rotations you think will benefit you most as an aspiring surgeon? So in the clinical rotations, from my understanding, you have to do like the basic ones. You have to do internal medicine, you have to do family medicine, you have to do a peds rotation. You can't really get out of doing those because those are your core rotations. But I think, and maybe Miss Munn, you know better than I do, in your 4th year, you do have some more freedom to do away rotations and some more like specialized rotations within a specific field if you're interested. So I think that my personal opinion, and there's no rotation that won't benefit you in whatever field that you're going to do because you will always learn something on every rotation you go on. And I think having that perspective for everything that you decide to do moving forward is a really good one because you don't want to close doors and opportunities because you don't see how it can benefit you.
Yeah. And we also have, so if you know a surgeon from before school, you can always sign them up to be a preceptor for CHSU. It's just a bunch of paperwork. And then you can basically rotate with them when clinical rotation comes. I know I talked to a 3rd year recently, and she said she got like 95% of the specialties that she requested. So neurosurgery, general surgery, she got to rotate with those physicians. And yeah, I think it's a pretty okay process. Yeah.
And then I guess to just also add, like I am thinking of surgery, but I'm also very undecided. So I will go through all the rotations with a 100% open mind because I don't know what I want to do, and that's okay. You don't have to know, and you can use your 3rd and 4th year rotations to kind of figure that out. And then how do all the clubs notify students about upcoming events? Are there weekly newsletters updating students on campus events, lunchtime opportunities? Yes, the Student Government Association sends out an email every week about like upcoming campus events. So as an organization, you submit your events via like a Google Forms to them before Sunday night so that they can send out this email Monday morning that has all the events for the week. So that's one way you can kind of know about what's coming up this week. And then all the clubs have a group meet. So during club fair, you can go around and just join every single group meet if you really want to. I'm in almost every single group meet for all the clubs. I'm not active. I don't really like go to most things. It's just not possible, but I am in all the group meets. So if something interesting does pop up, like I feel like, oh, that's interesting. I'll go to that. So we operate very heavily on like a group me system here.
Mhm.
There are sometimes flyers posted at like on the doors or on the walls, so there's also that.
And I believe each club has an Instagram at this point. So if you're very Insta heavy, they always do stories.
Mhm.
I think we have just a couple minutes left. So any last questions? And if not, any advice that you would give to any of the folks on the call today? Put you on the spot.
I always give this advice. This is the advice I always give, but kind of turn your blinders on and only look at yourself. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to some of your friends, your classmates. You know, everyone is on a different timeline and everyone is on a different path, and that may not look the same, but you're in the end, you're gonna get to the same place. So don't worry if it's late. Don't worry if it doesn't happen this time. It'll happen next time. It's okay. Just stay focused on your goal and you'll get there.
And kind of related to that, it's just always remind yourself like you deserve to be here. So like when you get into medical school, like literally just constantly remind yourself that you deserve to be there, because imposter syndrome's, it's crazy sometimes, but yeah, just keep telling yourself that because you do.
Mhm.
And then I think if things don't work out or you feel like you're not doing as well as you wanted to, it's not the end. It's just, you're just learning. It's a learning experience, and you just try to stay optimistic. Things can get rough, but it doesn't mean it's the end.
I guess my advice would also be don't be afraid or don't hesitate to reach out to your professors or even physicians in the area. Like I cold email and cold call a bunch of them. I mean, most of them reply, most of them don't reply, but some of them do. Um, but yeah, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Um, the world is literally your oyster. Yeah, pretty much it.
Perfect. Great advice, I would have to say. Couldn't say it better myself. But thank you all for your sage advice and telling us about the club and your experiences here, as well as those joining us today. We appreciate you all for being here, and hopefully you'll be able to join us at whatever the next one is, but keep an eye on your emails and everything, and we will send those out. But thank you all so much and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.